Welcome to Tom Lin Project. Today we actually have Frank giving us his cinnamon bun thingy.
Okay, well first thing we need to do is we need to get 2 cups of milk. I personally prefer whole milk, but you can use any kind you want. It's just that usually it's a little better with whole milk, I think.
How about almond milk?
You probably don't want to use anything that's not from a cow.
No goat milk?
You can use goat milk. I mean, just as long as it has lactic acid in it, that's what's important about it. Basically, the reason why you use goat milk is because it's basically like taking out an insurance policy, in the words of Alton Brown. There are certain things in here that will prevent the rolls from rising themselves. So you basically kill them when you heat them to a certain temperature. I'm going to put this on very, very low because I have no experience with gas stoves. So all we're looking for is just bubbles around the edge.
Then we'll have it as a watcher.
So no skin or anything like that?
Skin is almost taking it too far.
Okay, so you don't want a skin on the top.
You can use whatever you want. I'm just using a half cup of vegetable shortening. You could use lard. I mean, really, they used to use lard. You can use lard. You can use...
Can you even find lard now?
Yeah, sure. It's actually cheaper than everything else.
Really?
Really.
Excellent. Ew.
That was ghastly. Ooh.
Reminds me of liposuction all over again.
And we let that cool because we don't want to put that in. Because if you put that in with the yeast, it will kill it. Because yeast can't stand anything, I think, over like 110 degrees at half a cup of sugar. As Jada says, you always want to put in salt because the salt brings out the flavor of everything else.
It smells like popcorn.
How it starts out.
Popcorn?
It starts out as popcorn.
Butter popcorn.
Butter popcorn. See, that's what you want because it's got bubbles. Whenever you see those bubbles, it's got it means that it's come back to life. Now, one of the things too is smell. It smells kind of like beer. So it gets all yeasty.
4 eggs, you can do it.
The recipe says 7, but it depends on how humid it is and what's going on, because you don't always need 7. I've used as little as 5, but I've never gone over 7, because basically you're just looking for the dough to come together. You don't want to add too much, because if you add too much, sometimes that's why you don't add 7, because it gets to be too much, and then the dough will be tough when you take it out. First of all, I'm going to take out an insurance policy.
Is that butter? It's looking good.
Yes, yeah, great. Now, you want to use the biggest container possible, because that right there is going to double by the time we get back.
So does it have to be warm or any kind of water?
It has to be warm, because what you're doing is you're putting it over the top because you don't want a skin to form up. If the skin forms, it's nasty and it causes hard pieces that will cook and become even harder in the final product. Alright, for now we leave that. It'll probably come over the sides here when we come back. It'll be oozing down into the pan. But you can put it in the oven. Another way you can do it is if you do have something you can put underneath, like a cookie sheet or something, put it in the oven. If you don't think it's warm enough, if it's like winter or something, you just put it in with a pan like this. You just fill it up with like hot water, and then the steam and the heat will help it rise, and the steam will also prevent the top from forming. So you have 2 options in that case. But be careful, if you keep adding the water to it, it'll get more and more expanding. So, since it's a nice day today, it's pretty warm and it's pretty humid, I'm not too concerned about it, so we can leave it here.
So how much sugar put in there?
Until it looks good, basically.
Whatever.
It's not really a measurement. Then we just put in,
How much cinnamon are you putting in?
a little over 8 tablespoons.
Oh, Frank is going to show his skills.
Usually I just do it on the counter. I just flour it up good. Clean it off with some really, really hot water first. Cover the top with flour. Good thing is if it's not enough flour, you can always just put more on, and that way it'll absorb it. So it'll stick like that for a while, just because you didn't get flour everywhere. But
so you can use roller pin if you want, or just do that.
I just squish it out. I think it's easier. I like them thicker because the thicker you get them, the more space there is to hold the mixture of brown sugar.
So what do you use the dough for?
Pretty much. The problem is I never really measured. They say 3/4 of an inch in the recipe, but I mean sometimes it's 3/4, sometimes it's. I mean the ideal is to have really well formed flat sides. You want it to try to be as flat as possible, so you can cut it and it's nice even rolls instead of having some somewhere, some somewhere else.
I see.
You get a little bit in one, and then one has like all sorts of crap in it. So that's what he pushes.
Do you put frosting or glaze on your cinnamon?
You can put frosting and glaze, and there's a recipe for it, but I've never thought they really need it. Preheat to 375.
So you're just going to cut anything that has no cinnamon?
There
basically?
you go.
Who knows?
This is what my mother and father say. You shouldn't be making this because, one,
you're
a wasteful, sinful child.
Oh my God, the sins.
You just got to throw it away?
unless you guys want to eat some raw dough. Now I always put in some kind of lubricant because these will stick like hell.
That was the other one.
So you can use butter shortening, you know, spray stuff, yeah. Anything so long as it just works. But as long as it lubricates, that's all you need. I should have put more flour down.
Yeah, you should have.
You know what? Note to self, never do Tom Lin Project again. Just so it'll absorb a little bit, because these are not going to look as pretty as they normally do, but...
Who cares? We just want the taste, right? And so we do this for 50 days.
Just gonna leave it there, and these will eventually...
Puff up?
Okay, we have to let this sit for 1 hour to raise. And it will, trust me.
What if he doesn't?
Oh, trust me, it will. Alright, so they've risen. I know it doesn't look all that pretty, but they've risen.
You get looking enough.
Yeah, they're gonna rise more too.
Are they gonna stay in there when they're...
Alright, 25 minutes. Should be good.
That should come straight away.
Wow.
Nice.
Better than I was expecting.
Well, I'm glad you said it that way.
Well, just let them cool because you never want to pull them out like that because you...
How long does it take to cool?
Give it 10-15 minutes, probably about what, I'd say.